partner and associates. And I give open and sound witness to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a slave-serving messenger and seal of the prophets. Peace be upon the prophet, upon his descendants, upon his companions, and upon the righteous throughout the world. Peace be unto you. Assalamu alaikum. Jumuah Mubarak. We're always thankful to Allah, highly glorified as He for once again allowing us to unite for this wonderful, blessed day of Jumuah, by which we come to seek His aid, and most of all, to beg for His mercy. He said that in the Quran that His mercy supersedes His punishment. So we pray for His mercy. Ask that He allow forgiveness to be upon all. And that we come in a humble spirit to serve, to hear the word of Allah in such a way that will help us to be better servants. That's the very mission of those who serve Allah, is to become better. We talked last week about Iman, faith, and why it was so important. And we find that one of the attributes in the Quran, Allah is Al-Mumin. And I told you before, when I read the attribute and I thought about Allah as the believer, He's the securer of life, because that's what Mumin is all about, securing life. But it said that He is the believer. And I thought about that. Well, I know I believe in Allah, but what does Allah believe in? You have to understand that Allah believes in His creation. See, if you produce something, you believe in what you produce because you understand where it came from and you understand its purpose. So we have to believe in Allah who believes in you. Very, very profound, because without that, we can't handle the challenges of life. That's why people become overwhelmed, because there's no source where they feel there's a sense of security. We understand that Allah is Al-Mumin. He's the one, not only that we believe in, but He secures the life. We believe that He secures our life. And even with the challenges, all those challenges are preparing us to what? Be better human beings, to be better servants. See, if you don't have the trials, you don't have the challenges, you can't get better. The verse asks the question about those who you think you will go on saying that you believe and that you will not be tested. And how Allah has tested those who came before you. So the test is necessary for you and I to understand who we are, how we've been built, how the faith has strengthened us and took us to another level. Because this whole process of serving Allah is about growing, it's about evolving, it's about becoming better. So we talked last week about the idea of Iman and why it was so important. We talked about Suratul Asr. As time progresses, surely the human being is in a state of retardation, he's in a state of loss. When you look at the overwhelming challenges, everywhere you turn, you see major dysfunctionality. You see how the human being has lost integrity, how the human being has lost even the human spirit. He's operating in some sense lower than an animal. He's lost the compassion, because the whole mission of Shaitan is to take the human being out of the human body. And once he takes the human being out of the body, once he takes the compassion, the love, the forgiveness, the empathy, once he takes that out of the human being, out of the human body, then that human being is nothing but a shell where Shaitan begins to whisper and fill your body up with all those things that works against civilization. So while I say in that son of life, as time progresses, surely the human being is in a state of retardation. Then it goes on to say, Illa ladina amanu. Now here's the distinction, except those who have faith. That's what we're talking about. This was going to make you and I better. Having the security that when the challenge comes, we don't become overwhelmed. And you just see lost souls because their faith, their belief is in something else. People put their faith and belief in things. They put their faith and belief in other people. So when the challenges of the world come upon them, they can't handle it because they're not plugged into the secure of life. They're not plugged into that source. And faith is powerful. I gave you the story where it talked about that a person with belief is 99 degrees more superior than the person who just has an interest. You know how powerful that is? See, if you just have an interest in a thing, there's nothing that says you can push through. But your belief is a conviction. And I told you before, that's why they call a person a convict. Person break the law, get locked in, call him a convict. Because that convict is locked into a system. That's why your belief is a conviction. You're locked into that belief. Because you know what that belief is doing to sustain your life as a functional being in these challenging times. So you're just like a convict. You're locked into a system that really sustains your life. And you just can't get out. Because if you work to get out of that system, then you know your life is over. Because Allah says that the best of creatures are those who believe and do good. This is the best of creatures. These are the best human beings on the planet, those who believe and they allow their belief to inspire them to work to aid other human beings. That's the best creature you'll find on planet Earth. They believe in Allah who believes in them. And when you believe in Allah who believes in you, and then you do his work, and he said that he will allow you to graduate and achieve higher levels of fulfillment, higher levels of happiness. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu alaykum anfusakum, O you who believe, upon you is the obligation to manage yourself. See, that's the key right there. That this rare, precious, and special self Allah gave you must be managed. You can't manage time. You can't manage other people. The only thing you can manage is yourself. And Allah shows us during Ramadan how you have to manage yourself. Even with all the challenges, all the influences during that time of intense heat. I'm not just talking about the heat from the sun, the heat from the pressure of wanting to fulfill desires. That intense heat, Allah says, fasting is prescribed for you to master yourself. And you master yourself by being aware of the value and the purpose of taqwa. Allah consciousness. So the verse says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu alaykum anfusakum, O you who trust in Allah. Upon you, alaykum anfusakum, is an obligation to manage yourself. And without belief, you will not have the longevity of dealing with these challenging times that we're living in right now. You have to have faith. And it's important for you and I to believe in Allah who believes in you. He believes in you. And when he created you, he put an abundance of potential all throughout your body. And he knows how he has developed you, how he has shaped you. That's why before we talked about the hadith, the Prophet Muhammad said there's a tree whose leaves doesn't fall. And that tree is like a Muslim. And he said that is the date palm tree. I got to keep giving this to you. Because we're in not only a new month, not only a new year, this is a new decade. And if you look at the rapid changes that's taking place, all kind of changes that's just overwhelming people. You look at all the dysfunction, you look at the dysfunction, it sometimes blows your mind. When you look at the way human beings are operating, with all of the advances, you see the regression of a human being. He's still operating in a baby state of just give me and I want mine. And they're less concerned with other people's interests. The verse says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu alaykum anfusakum. But he said that date palm tree, we talked about how that date palm tree is built. It's not built like a regular tree. That's why when the winds come, you find wooden trees, they break. One broke with the last storm. I came outside in front of my apartment, a huge tree, toppled over, broken. Because it hasn't been designed and built in such a way that it can weather those storms. But Allah says, like that palm tree, that's how you're supposed to be. That you have enough faith that allows you, even in the midst of darkness, even in the midst of overwhelming temptations, you can maintain your position. And even if you fall down sometime, you have enough faith that says, stand back up. That's what a hadith that said, "Oh Messenger of Allah, tell me something of Islam I can ask of no one but you." He said, "Amantu billahi." Say, "Qul amantu billahi fastaqim." Say, "I believe in Allah," and from that point, be upright. And that's what we have to tell people. We have to teach this idea to stand up as a man, stand up as a woman who stand on some principles. So when the winds of emotions come, it don't rattle you. You can maintain your position because your life is built on Iman. Your life is built on faith. And you believe in Allah who believes in you. So we've been blessed with a great revelation called Quran. And in fact, in this Quran, there's a surah where Allah says, "Qad aflaha mu'minun," that the believers will eventually, over time, break through. Qad aflaha mu'minun. And the qad aflaha, the aflaha is, here's a group of people who are going to be successful. That's why belief is so important. That's what will allow you to achieve. When you look at the people making advances in the world, those are a group of people who have deep faith. They have faith in Allah, and they have faith in the potential Allah gave them, and they have enough commitment to stay on the course. That's why some people don't complete things, they have enough belief. That's why I said the person who have the belief and the person who have interest is two different worlds. Those who come off, they have strong belief. Those who stop, they got an interest. And if you want to come off in life, you got to go beyond just having interest. And realize that Allah already says, "Qad aflaha mu'minun," that if you have belief, over time, you're going to get a breakthrough. You're going to prosper, you're going to achieve, you're going to excel, but you have to have belief. That's why Muhammad the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his name was, one of the many names was Al-Amin. Al-Amin is trustworthy. But look here, those who trust you, they believe in you. He trusted Allah, Al-Amin, trusted Allah, and then he trusted the life, the potential Allah gave him. That he understood that he's on a cross. There's a destiny. Because the verse said, "Didn't we find you wandering and give you guidance?" He's on this course towards destiny. Qadr, moving towards your destiny. But the verse says, "Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu alaykum anfusakum," that you have to believe, and then you have to manage the life Allah gave you. And you manage the life He gave you by always working to connect with Him, who is the securer of that life. You're not securing it. He's giving you the power to secure your life because He's Al-Mumin. He's the one who believes in what He created. And He believed that He gave you the power to manage your life. You got to use that life. Because aflaha mu'minun, and the believers will be successful. They're going to experience over time breakthrough after breakthrough. You're going break through the blocks. See, many people have all kind of blocks in their lives. Things that's impeding them from reaching a certain destiny, of reaching a destination. They're moving all over the place and there's jams. It's like you get a traffic jam. A traffic jam throws everything off. Not only on that street, the traffic jam throws off the next block because the people in the jam is trying to get out to the next block, so it throws that block off. Yeah, people got all kinds of jams in their lives. And they're moving for breakthrough. Because aflaha al-mu'minun. So the verse in the Quran where Allah talks about this self, we're talking about this belief in the self, and how your belief really shapes your world. Your belief actually shapes your reality. So you find belief connected to the self. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu alaykum anfusikum. It's talking about the self, the soul. But you got to believe that you have a self that's always pushing you to do better. And we're going to talk about the 3 stages of that soul, the 3 stages of development. We have the self, nafs al-amal. You just deal with the biological passion and desire, just like the baby state. The urges of wanting to just consume, to be fulfilled, and not even interested in the concerns of other people. I just want mine. I want to just eat. I have appetite. But the Quran cautions us about the verse where Allah says about appetites unchecked by knowledge. You got to check the appetite. So there's a lower self, which is like the animalistic self, the instinctive self that's just driven to get, to be satisfied, without having an awareness of sometimes the drive to get can be injurious to other people. I just want mine get mine and you be concerned with how you get yours. So there's a verse in the Quran where Allah talks about the self and struggling, and why struggle is so important. For you to realize the great potential Allah put in your body. Struggle. I want to ask you the question, what is your jihad? See, everybody got a jihad, everybody got a struggle. And you have to ask yourself, what is your jihad? What is your struggle? So you can work to assess the struggle and then overcome it, because you have that kind of power. Allah already said that He created the human being to face difficulty. You've been created to be strong. And your iman, faith, allows you to what? Be strong. And if you're not strong, this world, America, will break you. All you have to do is just look around and see people. You'll see how they've been broken and are in need of major repair. And you know, some people be broken and so much in denial they can't even see they're broken. And that's one of the major problems for the human being, the ideal of denying truth. But the truth is a very liberating force. I love that biblical verse I tell you about so many times, of you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. That's powerful. And anything other than truth will lock you up. That's why truth is so powerful. It is a liberating force. So Allah says here in the Quran. Again, it starts with Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Oh, you believe. Shall I lead you to a bargain that will save you from a grievous penalty? That you believe in Allah and His Messenger, and that you strive your utmost in the cause of Allah with your properties and yourselves. That will be best for you if you only know. He will forgive you your sins and admit you to gardens beneath which rivers flow, and to beautiful mansions and gardens of eternity. That is the supreme achievement. Listen to that. Here's the bargain. Supreme achievement. And another favor he will bestow on you, which you do love, help from Allah and a speedy victory. So give glad tidings to those who believe. All throughout this verse, Allah talks about the blessings for the believer. All throughout this verse, all throughout this Quran, he talks about how the believer is making contributions to the world. Because they believe in him who believes in them. That's why it's important for you to believe in Allah who believes in you, put so much in your body. And he says, shall I lead you to a bargain that will save you from a grievous penalty? What is a bargain? You know, a bargain means that you're going to get more from the situation than what you put in. That's powerful. Now, Allah said, I'm going to lead you in this verse to a bargain. When you go to the store, the person says, he makes you think you get more from this experience than what you're giving. So they got all kinds of sales. And people are driven because of the sale, because the sale said, here's a bargain, you're going to save more money. So through this experience, you're going to get more than what you put in. Now Allah's saying, you're going to be led to a bargain that will what? Save you. It's going to save you from punishment. And what is the process of getting that bargain? That you first believe in Allah. The first thing you do. And his messenger, and then you strive. Here's jihad. You strive with yourselves and your possession. That you put your heart into this process. You put your soul in, you put your being, you're willing to make sacrifices in the path of Allah. And he said that what you give, even as much as you give, is less than what you're going to get. That's what I want to get. I want to be a part of this bargain. I want to be a part of this kind of relationship, this engagement. Because when I make this kind of sacrifice, when I give what I have, Allah said he's going to reward me abundantly. So he said that part of the bargain is that you believe in him, you believe in his messenger, and that you strive with yourselves and your possessions. I ask you the question, what is your jihad? Because that's the word here, jihad. What is your struggle? What are you doing to break through the blocks in your life? What are you doing to make an impact, to make the world better so life can grow? Because that's what jihad is all about. Jihad is about working to make conditions better, that will release the highest aspiration, the highest instinct that Allah put inside of the human being. That's why it teaches us that oppression is worse than slaughter. He wants the human being to be liberated. So what is your jihad? Remember we talked about last week about what righteousness is? Allah said it is not righteousness that you turn your face towards east or west. But it is righteousness that you believe in Allah. We talk about righteousness. Prophet Muhammad told us, he said that righteousness is good character and wrongdoing is that which wavers in your soul and which you dislike people finding out about. I was in the supermarket the other day. Little Latino brother shopping next to me, and then he's checking out. He checked out before me. And I started getting my stuff. As he left, I saw him. As he left, I saw his wallet. I assumed it was his. I saw his wallet on the floor. Then as I picked my stuff up, I picked the wallet up. I've been telling you about nafs, and here's the soul in jihad. I picked the wallet up, and my lower self said, no, I got some. Got his wallet, I went outside, looked, seeing a little bit of money, but walking home. Get up in the elevator, I looked, I said, oh, man. So I'm rushing. Get in the elevator, got out the elevator, sat down for a minute. My lower self was, it's my, I know it ain't mine, but I found it. And having all these conversations in my head.
Go ahead.
But then I said, I'm gonna give it back to him. But see, now the lower self said, it ain't yours, but it is yours because you found it. But then the other part of the self, we move from nafsul amara, the self of biology, passions, and want to just get. Then we move to another self, which is Nafsul Lawama. Here's what is called the self-accusing spirit. There's a moral consciousness.
Yes, sir.
That said, now you know that ain't right. That little young brother was standing next to you. You supposed to make sure he get what is his. Even though you found it, it ain't yours. See, it's whipping on self-accusing spirit is whipping on me. That's why I'm telling you about this jihad. What is your jihad? What is your struggle? Because the greatest struggle, as Muhammad the Prophet, peace be upon him, told us, not on the battlefield. The greatest struggle is against yourself.
Praise be to
and I had to struggle to say, hold up, this ain't yours, even though you found the wallet. I looked in there, I saw his license, I saw his credit cards, I saw his money. I said, man, this ain't yours. As bad as you probably can use these few dollars, this ain't yours. That's that little brother money, man. Give him his money back. Then Nafsul, the higher stuff, the spiritual stuff started riding and said, now, would you want somebody to do that to you?
Go ahead.
Then it said the self, we went to the higher self of the care and the concern and empathy, feeling for another human being. Asked the question, would that be pleasing to Allah? Because that's what the Nafsul Mutmainna, the higher self, is the self that is pleased with Allah, and Allah is well pleased with him. And even though you found it, it ain't yours, would that be pleasing to Allah? Because I already found the man's license. I'm not going to put it in the mailbox. They say, I'll take the money and put it in I'm not going to put that in the mailbox. I'm going to be responsible and show this young man there's some decent human beings on the planet. Jumped in my car, cold at night, went around to the house, rung the bell, little dog came barking at the window. Mother came to the door. I said, Mommy, she's Latino. Mommy, your son lost his wallet. Your son tell me he lost his wallet? Did your son say he lost his wallet? She came to the door and literally she froze. Because she looked in the wallet, she couldn't believe all the money there, the credit card there, the license. It blew her mind. She went to give me. I said, no, that's okay, Mommy. That's for you. And I got in my car and I left. See, the verse says here that you strive, jihad do, with yourselves and your possessions about struggle. You got to struggle against the rebellious part of you that denies you access to the better part of you. So I had to wage war against myself. I went through all these different stages in a matter of minutes. So let's say I got to get this to a young brother because I don't want him to call and cancel his credit card. You know how long it takes you to get that done? And I don't want to have that little brother to go and get in the cold and stand in line for 2 hours to get his license. That's what you got to do. You got to go re-sign for your license. You got a long line to wait. So I shot there real fast. But all these conversations I was having in my mind about this self of saying, you got something, it ain't yours, would this be pleasing to Allah? So I released it. And when I released it, the verse says here that they will achieve the highest supreme of achievement. That's for those who believe. He said he will forgive them their sins and admit them a garden with rivers flowing. See, that's what I want. And I know that the more good we do, that's what Allah is going to do for us. He said he will forgive you your sins. He will admit you to gardens beneath where rivers flow and beautiful mansions and gardens of eternity. And that is indeed the highest supreme felicity. Highest level. But you got to do some work on yourself. You got to wage war. You got to go into jihad and find out what is your struggle. And that's how you grow, because this whole ideal of serving Allah is about growth and development. And then he goes on to say, and another favor, after talking about he's going to give you the gardens, eternity, and rivers flowing and mansions, and the picture is the highest supreme achievement. He said, in addition to that, you see how merciful Allah is? He said he's going to give you all of that. And then he says, in addition to that, another favor which you do love. Help from Allah and a speedy victory. So give glad tidings to those who believe. What I've been there, Tina, for doing. Hasanati, wa fil akhirati hasana, wa you can Yes, assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
So this revelation develops the kind of human beings who understand people, the kind of human being who understand that there's an obligation of social responsibility, that you move beyond just having your own ideal of faith wrapped up into your world, and then you engage yourself in the concerns of other people. There's a beautiful hadith I love. It says, the Prophet Muhammad said, by Allah, he does not believe. He said, by Allah, he does not believe. And he said, by Allah, he does not believe for the third time. He said, O Messenger of Allah, who is that? He said, it is he whose neighbor is not free from his evil conduct. That person doesn't believe. See, if you believe in the one who believes you, then you have concern for the neighbor. The neighbor role is so powerful in Al-Islam in terms of a concept that there's a whole surah where Allah talks about neighborly needs. And he gives the picture of those who pray to be seen of men, but they are neglectful of the neighborly needs. He doesn't believe if his neighbor feels threatened by him. You know the power of a neighbor? See, I like that commercial says, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And what State Farm suggests is State Farm suggests security and protection. That's what your insurance is all about. Your insurance means my life is covered. And the neighbor role is so important because the neighbor is supposed to cover your life. Don't you know when you leave, your neighbor going to make sure nobody go in your house? Your neighbor going to watch your house just like it is because the neighbor know you're supposed to do the same thing for them.
Yes, sir.
So the prophet said, he does not believe. By Allah, that person don't believe. Who the neighbor feels threatened by your behavior. And that's the problem. And I don't like this whole idea of young brothers talking about, I'm from the hood. And I'm repping my hood. And they don't even understand that means because if you understood what a hood meant, the hood means a sense of protection. See, State Farm, when you put the hood down, man, because if you don't put the hood down, then the interior of the car going to get wet. Your mother said, boy, put that hood on because it's raining out there. So what they've done, they've disconnected the neighbor from the hood. There ain't no protection. The neighbor doesn't feel secure. That's why I said, by Allah, he does not believe. Whose neighbor does not feel safe in his presence. And we have to teach these young brothers about the whole idea of a neighborhood. Now, ain't just no hood. It's about a neighbor. Because you find people who live right next to each other have no respect for each other. There's a time you go next door. My mother said, you got some sugar? That was the kind of relationship neighbors had. You got some lemonade? And the neighbors would share because they understand this is a relationship. We live amongst one another. That's why the African proverbs say it takes a village, that's the neighbor, to raise a child. And all those people in that village saw themselves making an investment, not just in their child, but in their future. So the verse goes on real quickly. And another favor will he bestow on you, which you do love. So you love help from Allah and a speedy victory. So give glad tidings, give good news, not the bad news. If you give the good news, it means all of us should see ourselves as Mubashir. Mubashir is the one who is the good news bringer. Bashir. He is the sensitive creature. And the word Bashir is from the same word that skin. Whatever you put on the skin responds. So you have to be the one to deliver the good news because people are getting so much bad news. So he said, give the good news to the believer. Give the good news to the believer. The speedy victory that's coming to them. You're going to get a victory. You're going to get a breakthrough. Whatever you're going to do over time, you keep pushing, you're going to experience a breakthrough. Your life's going to get better. Stay on this path and strive with yourselves and your possessions. And Allah said he will forgive you, and he said you will experience the supreme achievement of gardens, mansions, It's a beautiful picture. So here's the conclusion of this series of verses. Back to believe. Oh, you believe? Be ye helpers of Allah, as said Jesus, the Son of Mary, to the disciples. Who will be my helpers? That's the question right there. You're going through some things, you need some help. So Allah said, extend to the believers the glad tidings, and then it goes on to say, be ye Ansar Allah, as said Jesus, the Son of Man, to the disciples. He asked the question, and who will be my helpers? That's what we need. All of us need help. You're doing some things, you're going through some things, you need to plug into people who can help you to make your life easier and to make your life better. And you have to learn how to share what you do with other people. That's why community life is so important. You shouldn't come to the masjid, come to the Jumuah, and just walk out the door. Take time to learn about your brothers and sisters. You're building community life. You understand that you have to aid one another. And the Prophet Muhammad said the picture of the ummah is like a body. And when one body feels discomfort, the whole body is thrown off. All right? So the verse says, who will be my helpers? Said the disciples, we are Allah's helpers. Then a portion of the children of Israel believed and a portion disbelieved. But we gave power to those who believe against their enemies, and they became the ones who prevailed. See, he said he gave power to those who believe. You believe and then you move and become an answer, because it's not just enough to believe. As I said, the best of creatures is those who believe and do good. So I said the believers, now you move from just being a believer, now you become Ansar Allah. Now you become a helper working for the renovation and elevation of man. The Ansar, you see the Masjid is Bayt al-Nasr. Bayt al-Nasr is the house that renders help to human beings. I tell you before, people come to the masjid just like they go to the hospital. They go to the hospital because they want to feel better. And even after feeling better, they want to experience wellness. They want to get better. I'm feeling better, but I want to get better. There's some room for improvement. People come to the masjid, Bayt al-Nasr, to be restored. So see yourself as Ansar, working in the ummah, in Bayt al-Nasr, the house that works to help, uplift, restore, dignify that great human being that Allah put on earth. Peace be unto you. Assalamu alaikum.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah.